This is not the other and had not consulted these records before. So doesn't had. So abhi that whatever Dharampal ji is having that particular documents which he got it from all other places. He want to combine all the documents, and he is saying that before that nobody is having that much of a particular collection, because whatever they are having in fragments. So that's why he has written that they missed the overall picture largely because they saw the material in fragments for a particular pieces. So of research over a month or a year or two. Dharampal ji, in contrast, gave it two benefits of decades. His mind retained very details of what he read with uncanny sharpness. That is how he eventually got the whole picture. So that's why whatever like Dharamtalaji has collected all the documents, and they have he has combined all the documents phase by phase. So then he will like able to take out the things like how it was happened in that British's time. Whatever exactly truth is there, because whatever we got it in our like whatever books and all everywhere, it is in fragments and it's a half truth and half false, everything is there, because Britishers are the only persons who are actually ruling us. So they have made the story so that we will see that if British will not come to India, then it will be a very difficult situation. So like that they have made it in our all textbooks. Then after this picture that emerged from the total Heartline records was nothing short of stunning, contrary to what million of us were taught in our school textbooks. So it indicated the extent of the functionality society. So he's again written the same thing, that whatever we taught in our school textbooks is totally a different story about our society, and whatever he got it in his whatever what he has done it research and all everything. So in that the things are he found totally different, and extremely competent in the art and science of its day. Its interactive grasp over its immediate natural environment was undisputed. In fact, it deemed phrases. So this was reflected in both agriculture and industrial production. He know today that still around 1750 together with the Chinese, our area were producing some 73% of total world industrial production, and even till 1830 what both these economic production still around to 60% of world industrial production, even in a modernate fertile area like that the Tamil Nadu. In that he has written the village name also, Chinpalputta. Our podi production in the substantial area of this land around 1760 and 70s amounted to some 5 to 6 ton per hectare, which equal to the production of paddy per hectare in present days in Japan, the current world high. The vast educational setup based on the school is in very village looked after the requirement of learning a large masses of young peoples. So in this he just want to tell you that in our whatever Britishers times around the 1760s or 70s, our mass production in each like villages, he has just given an example of Tamil Nadu. So there are a lot of paddy production was there that time, and whatever the Britishers has told, no, it's very difficult situation was there earlier, that's why we conquer and all everything, we have done so much good things for that India, so that they will come up and all like this stories they have made in our textbooks, so that we will not be able to know what exactly we are having that things are there in our hand before Britishers. And even during Britishers also we are having very nicely doing in our India, but they just ruined it everything, and they have taken our all money, and what our money is there, they have taken it to that their Britisher this thing UK, mostly they have put it in UK and Europe and all everywhere, so our Indian money only. So then the most expressive feature of the setup was the elaborate fiscal arrangements made of for its upkeep in perpetuity if required. For the gross production amount were allocated by reductions for the upkeep of the system from the engineering and who looked after the irrigation tanks and channels to the police and school teachers. So in technology we produced steel that was superior to Sheffield steel, and we also produced dye, ships, and literally thousands of commodities. So in this whatever in that industrial part, if you will say, then he told that we are far more ahead from all the like countries whatever presently we are seeing it, and in that lot of things we are producing, like steel we are producing which is very superior, and dye we are producing, ships we are producing, and literally thousands of other commodities we are producing at that time. So, and as he recorded all this, Dharampal also saw how it was also being undermined, how the Britisher in fact were about prevailing the Indian economy and society. So after it, once the Britishers came in India, they saw that we are very rich, and we are doing it very well in industrial, in educational, in all other aspect also. So that's why they came in India. They have conquered us, okay, and after conquering, they have looted us so many of money of our wealth, and then they have given us a false textbooks that no, you are there very poor earlier itself, then we came in India, we have developed a railway and all these kind of things they are telling, so that people understand that if Britishers will not come in India, then it was a very difficult situation, it will be a okay, so like that they are telling. So, and as he studied the sometimes fascinating and sometimes cruel records practically every day, it held him as it bewitched. He found that the British successfully initiated an intricate system of widespread control and extortion, taking away the tax and most of what the land producers as well as the products of manufacturers. He found it horrifying that this was often done at the point of bayonet. So they have looted us. For how they have looted, they have forcefully put it, taxes on us. Okay, they have sometimes they are the extortions they are doing all across the Indian villages. Okay, and then whatever the horrifying whatever their ideas are there, that they are imposing on each and every one, so that our Indian peoples, they will not be able to do it our proper business and our proper education and on everything, and they will keep on giving a false hope that we will make it everything good in India, like that. Okay, so now according to Dharampalji, the British purpose in India, perhaps after long deliberation during the 17th century, was never to attempt on any scale of settlements of the people of British or Europe in India. it was felt that in some region of India, because of its climate, temperature range, and gifted industries and a dense population, the settling of people of Europe could never could serve for little purpose. Okay, so they already got it that here temperature, climate, and range and all gifts, whatever we are having, by the God gifts and dense population and all, and it's a very helpful thing for us, that which we are having a very good skill sets at that at before British's period. Okay, so we are having good any education, industrial and other all medical facilities and all every aspect we are far more better for from them. So that's why they came here and they have looted us. Okay, so now therefore the purpose was defined in the bringing as bringing to British and Europe and surplus products of various industries of the India of peoples, and taxes imposed on these industries, such as proposal in fact was very clearly put forward around 1780s by Professor Adam Fergusson of Edinburgh. So this is Adam. Yeah, Adam was a professor of moral philosophy. Okay, interestingly, he is also regarded as a founder of British sociology. Okay, so he made that things for our social culture, which is totally like in different, like in the harming way only to Indians. Okay, so while discussing the mode of government India, the Adam raised the question for the purpose of its governance. According to him, the aim was to transfer as much as possible of wealth of India to Europe, and the task, according to him, could not directly be conducted by servants and institutions of British state. They would be too bound by rule and state discipline to do justice to the task. The transfer of wealth to Europe, he felt, would generally require the bending and breaking of rules, as no major extraction and extortion from the ruled could be effectively done through instruments of the state. So that's why they have made different kind of rules just for themselves only, because whatever rules they are making, they will be like for them. So because whatever rules will be there to be imposed on the Indians, and they will not be able to grow in their normal lives. Okay, so whatever it will be there for them, they can break also the British and same rules they can break, and they can increase their wealth, and they can transfer the wealth from India to Europe. So that is why they have made it all these different rules and regulations. So he therefore felt that the direct governance of India could be in the hand of servants of a body like EI, British companies, East India Company, where the servant could have needed disobey order and rules, but the company could be controlled and survived by a high power body constituted by the state. It is this logic and argument that eventually led to the formation of Board of Commissioners for the affair of India in 1784. Okay, so yeah, whatever things they are making, this all Board of Commissioners and other rankings, they are just benefiting to them, so that they can easily transfer the money from India to Europe. Okay, so now we'll go further. Now Dharampal found that for all long period in the late 18th and 19th century, the tax on the land in many areas exceeded the total agricultural production of very fertile land. This was particularly so in the area of Madras Presidency, the comparing current Tamil Nadu district of coastal and Andhra, and some district of Karnataka and Malabar. The consequences of the policy were easy to predict. In the Madras Presidency, one third of most fertile land were out of cultivation between the period 1800 to 1850. In fact, as early as possible, as earlier as 1804, the governor of Madras Presidency wrote to his masters, the president of board of commissioners in London. So whatever the land was there in India, which is most fertile, very whatever you will try to grow in that land, definitely it will be like it will grow properly. Very less water also consumption was there. So very fertile land. They stopped doing the farming on that by this rule, by their rules and regulations, so that India will become they will become poor and poorer only, and they will earn money. Britishers will earn money, and they will be like more rich, and from that villages, after getting poor, they will grab their whatever gold coins and whatever money they are having, and the same money they will shift it to Europe, London. Okay, so we have paid a great deal of attention to the revenue management in this country. The general tender of any option is that we have road of country too hard, and the consequences is that it is a state of most lamentable poverty. Great possession is in fear exercised too general in the collection of the revenue. So they are just keep on taking the revenues from the peoples, even though they are destroying their wealth, and they want to get revenue also. So that kind of atmosphere they have created in India. Okay, so Dharampal also found within the same archives information about the Indian civil resistance in various regions of India in the general stage of British rules, like the one in Varanasi region around 1810 and 11, and in Kanara around 1813, and how they have contained and everything, like he found it that all details in there, but such event are not taken note of in the formal records as deliberate policy. Even a petition against grievance through though invited would not be officially recorded unless the wording of the petition conveyed a sense of penetrations, pernicious humility, and of this limitless request for authority. Okay, so from there only he got their all informations. Then experts from one such rejected petition against the house tax imposed in Varanasi highlight this. Former solicitants never extended the right of government to the habilitation of their subject acquired by them by descent or transfer. It is on this account that is in several states the habitation of the prosperity are expected from the sales. Therefore, the operations of this tax infringe upon the right of whole community, which is contrary to the first principle of justice. Okay, so whatever rules they are making, and same they are always breaking it, and right now like same thing is happening in India. Whatever that falls 75th of anniversary we have made in 2022. So same way it was like government is always faking it that we are doing our very nice thing, we are doing wealthy and all, but actually the data statistics showing totally different way. Okay, and they cannot resist also in this whatever scenario will be there, like WTO they have signed and all everything. So they cannot resist the things also because they are totally bound to do it. Okay, so like Manmohan ji has told that beggars have no choice, so we have to bear all the things whatever they will impose on us. Okay, so After this, it is difficult to find many of sustenance and the stamp duties, court fees, transmits, and towns duties which have increased tenfold, affect therefore rich and poor, and in the taxes like salt scattered on the ground and is a cause of pain and depression to everyone, both Hindu and Muslims. Let it be taken into a consideration that has a consequence of these impose the price of provisions has been has within the 10 years increased 16 folds. Okay, in such how it is possible for us who have no choice, no means of earning a livelihood to subject. Okay, so by this method of extortion and other similar means, the Britishers were able to smash Indian rural life and society by about 1820 and 1830. Around the same period, the extensive Indian manufacturers meet a similar fate because the deliberate British policy, the famed Indian village community, also inequality described by Thomas around 1830 and Karl Marx in 1815 had mostly ceased to exist. ओके सो ये कार्ल मार्क्स जो है इसके बारे में राजीव भाई ने बताया है हम लोगों को. तो हाउ दे आर डूइंग इट, they are just simply doing the policy of extortion. Okay, and other meanings also in the year of 1820 1830. Okay, so that Indian rural society will be like more and more poor, and the wealth will finally transfer from India to London. Okay, so then the similar comments would be made among the natives on Indian services and technology. Initially, they were desired for their competitive relevance and unuseful to the advancement or correction of their British counterparts. But soon after the British began to rule and control India life and society, the continuity of Indian knowledge and practice seemed to become a threat. Therefore, it was sometimes to put aside to that it crumbled and decayed. Dharampal found that such a program of making extinct was contrived in practical every sphere of human activity, including the manufacturing of cotton, practice of innovation against smallpox and in AD 1800. Okay, so in 1800 we have in our India smallpox. Okay, like all other parts of the world, but India has like able to came out of it very easily because we have made it our own this tika and whatever say, and that thing will help that thing helped the full entire Indians from these kind of diseases. Okay, so a similar fate awaiting the extensive method of Indian school and institutions of higher learning, which they begin to be survived in 1820 and 1830. Ironically, it is mainly through the British archival records that one people aware of extensive nature of education network as well as its speedy decay in the Madras and Bengal presidency. Okay, and somehow later of the presidency of Bombay in the Punjab. Okay, presidency of Mumbai and in the Punjab. Okay, so these all things like separately they are doing it. Okay, in the year of 1820 and 1830. and they are making it they are trying to make it separate body, so that they can do that particular part. Okay, so in this okay, now of course the view which we got from such archive material is splitting into integrity, but the indicators in themselves are of great value. So they also provide us glimpse of pre-British life and of the aspect of India, of which we had lost track from about AD 1850, and when society was broken and suppressed. Okay, and an imposed aligned system of education made us ignore and forget the immutable accomplishment of our people. Okay, so whatever our people have been accomplished, whatever trainings and all, whatever education, whatever business and whatever things are there, so by that which we have tried to be very easily whatever goals we have set it should be accomplished, but they are destroying our goals time to time. So our education, our industrial aspects and all everything, and acquiring it with their rules and regulations to damage us maximum as much as possible for them. Okay, so now Dharmal is quite clear and explained on the use of this history. He writes, if we investigate these records on similar aspect further on the basis of what is available in our archaeology, then inspiredly and other historical sources, and what is still related to the memory and unconsciousness, okay, of other people, we ought to able to reconstruct our state and society for society accordingly. So basically in this also he was just want to say that how exactly things are there written in there. Okay, so they have just mentioned that in that old years how the Britishers are doing it to save the truth, to hide the truth from Indians. Okay, so since independent in 1947, it is this question of reconstruction of self and society on the foundation of our on the foundation of our priorities, values, tradition, and culture that seem to have complicated and hindered us, particularly on scholarships, administration, and politics. We appear to have forgotten and what we can look back and learn from our own past based on the experience construction or other own unique identifying within the context of our own affairs as well as that the rest of the world. What do we have in a nation? Okay, so and without learning to other ideologies and material structures, what do we have in genuinity or you not? May can we made our own point as against alignment, which one of sort out the another? Do you have any point to which the Indians? Okay, this is a question he just want to ask. Okay, so in this since independency in 1947, it is a question of reconstruction of self and society on the foundation of priorities, values, tradition, culture that seem to be ended us, particularly on the scholar, administration, politicians. We appear on the forgotten that we can look back and learn from our own past. Okay, so abhi in the 1947 whatever we have done it with Britishers, we should be like having forgotten all these things, but we are keep on continuing the things, the same education we are continuing, same medical facilities we are continuing, same agreements we are continuing. So these all like same, so that's why it's like a false independence which we got in 1947. Okay, so after it, based on that experience, construction our own unique identity within the content of our own affairs as well as the rest of the world. What would we nation without leaning the other ideologies and matter crucius. Okay, so went and do okay. Do we have ingenuity or not? Can we make our own points and against alignment with one sort of another? Do we have a point to make as Indian? So these all questions came in the mind of Dharampal ji, that and do we have a point to make an Indian? So Indian is like if you'll find out in the dictionary, then you'll be able to find out the exact meaning. Okay, so these all things, everything, when he got it information, he want to distribute the things to the our other colleagues and other peoples nearby him. When Dharmapalji started on its own momentum work around 1965 and 66, he had felt then that whatever his British account might fell left out, and however incomplete they would help us for he followed them up with the further details and intense exploration of such materials and existing in India. Furthermore, further with the association of other peoples in the exploration in such things still linked with other past and with such other widths memory of it. If we would within a generation or so given to the present circumstances and need. It is distressing to note though that we are yet to undertake this task. Dharampalji write further. Okay, so then he has written more in that today we feel in circled by hostility, much of it in the fact generated by our own invaders and actions from around 1947. We have treated ourselves cousins of the West, dominated by the West. So in that he has clearly written that in that whatever textures are there, whatever actions they have written in that it is written like almost looking like from around 947 we have traveled for ourselves as a cousins of West. Okay, and dominance by the West. So West always is coming in between whenever it's dealing with anything on India. It may be necessary as a moment of relay the West knowledge and products. But this case only the short term proposal. Very soon, whatever Western know how and product seem essential to us, we must learn to produce them in our own way with our own materials, variants, and modifications. But actually, we have not done it. Okay, so because we are already signed the GATT agreement along with America that time itself when we have came out from this false independence. Okay, and this whatever is there our modification and all it should be there, but they have not made it because if we have done it our own modification and variation in our education and all other things, then we will be like more ahead of this China, USA and all. But we have not done it timely because of our politicians are not that much good for us, because they are always telling good things about British empires, not about our Indians. They don't like to work as an Indian in India after this false independence also. Okay, so in this meanwhile, however, we must set our original people free, removal of obstacles in their path related to us, use of it local physical and material resources, and encourage them to use their talent to rebuild their own scattered world in their own various ways. Okay, so only then after other local relationships and linkages begin to come alive, and the socially manner and remembering pertaining to specific achieve and activities begin to get awakened, and rebuilding not remain as much copy of the past by taking account of the world around it. Indian society will begin to integrate such an element in Western and other technology that seem to it and relevant and simultaneously for its own base. So, for all this to happen, a profound alteration in our attitude towards our peoples and our past has to take place. We must enable other people to feel more self accused confident, hopeful around their own talent and capability, and encourage them to retain their industrial and socialist dignity. To achieve this state, they need to acquire a better awareness, specific as child and youth, of the human past of their locality, and establish friendly relationship with other, bring including all kind of animal lives and plants, rivers, lake, pond, hills, forest, soil, etc., and with coexist they with manpower. Similarly, we would begin to aware on the linkage of each and every locality with the individual reason, for the reason with the with the country, and our country with our countries of their in earth of their on this earth, and earth linkage with the cosmos. So these all things are interconnected, but they want to break it, okay, so that our Indian peoples they will not get any animal life properly, and plant life, any river or any lakes or any pond or hills and forest lives. Okay, so these all things and it will affect, so that they have made it everything like that. So this effort would require very text of the well told stories and localities, regional countries, the world, and the various ideas about the beginning or non beginning of the universe. Such knowledge and awareness would also make our people feel confident and well informed, and also enable them to uh, partake, uh, par- partake, partake of the Indian understanding of people and natural phenomena. So it would be ground then them in the element of various science and technology in agriculture, animal subsidiary and forestry, and uska crafts, as well in the history, philosophy, grammar, and languages. Thus, by after the age of 14, our children, boys as well as girls, would I become competent society of these respective area? Then their answer will be no. Okay, so to make it in such a way, systematic way, they have made it in education, so that all small children, they will know that Britishers are very good and all everything like that. Okay, so the all history are elaborated efforts by mic making. Therefore, when we submit the history among us written by the other, we submit it by their youth, my mouth about us, as well as mouth making, like naming it in the token of various power. So second to the other, might about us in is in the sign that we have similar power. After the historical work of Dharmapalji, the scope of myth making about the past of society is now considerably reduced. So whatever myths we are having, that our society was poor, our society was always like grabbed with the different disease and all. So and these all things are totally null and void, because now Dharampalji got it the exact documents and everything which they can produce also in front of anyone. So if we must continue to live our myths, however, it is far better we choose to live by those of our own making, rather than by those invented by others from other own purposes. However, English in Japan, English in Japan, uh, that much that much at least we owe ourselves as an independent history and nation. So, what was history and nation? Dharampal got it from his own experience, which he got it from London Library. Okay, so that he has tried to combine in this phrase, and that's why he want to tell you that we must have what our independent society and national, that will be very good. It was there before Britishers. Okay, so more connected with this, we'll continue in our next class. Okay, so keep going through this Dharampalji series, and then if anything from your end, please add me your questions and give me your questions or add some comments on that. Thank you.